Okay, part 2, reviewing the Gerber Multi-plier 600. We left off in part 1 talking about the Comfort versus the Charge by Leatherman, and I'm going to give the nod to the Charge. In overall comfort, the handles are about equal, but when we talk about the deployment of the blades and actually all the tools inside, the ease of use, which is kind of in the previous category, the Charge wins. So let's press on to the next category, and that is toughness. Right there. And again, I'm going to give the edge to Charge by a wide margin. And here's why. If Gerber is so super awesome in their multi-tools, why don't they tell us what kind of steel it's made from? Maybe not the pliers so much or the handles so much, but at least the blades, the ones that are going to receive a lot of use, wear and tear, tell us what kind of blade steel that is. And they do this on their knives too, and I gotta tell you, I just hate it. You know, because it's kind of like buying a car and you don't have any information about the engine. You know, they don't say anything about the engine. They just assume that, hey, it's an engine, you guys will be happy with it, trust me, you'll get where you're going, it won't blow up on you. Well, that may be, but still, I want to know what kind of motor the car has. And the same for the steel on Gerber multi-tools. Tell us. Let's contrast that to the Leatherman Charge, and they brag about it, as all makers will when they use a decent steel. And here we see the steel name stamped right on there, as it should be. 154 cm. Questions? That's how Leatherman approaches it. They know that anybody who knows their multi-tools or knives, that's going to be a critical factor for them. And they're telling you, hey, this is a known quantity. It's 154 cm. You guys should be familiar with how good a steel that is, because there's all kinds of great knives that are made out of it. We're going to stamp it so you don't forget it, and to let you know you're getting a quality engine, so to speak. Good job, Leatherman. Bad job, Gerber. Don't just give me a generic steel and tell me to shut up and color. That's not what I want, especially when I'm spending $50 or more for a multi-tool. So the toughness, at least for the main cutting edges, I know what 154 cm will do. I've proven it in a lot of different blades. However, the no-name steel that Gerber uses and some other ones, especially my Air Harzies, they're a folding knife. Well, I'll do a review on those someday. I haven't been pleased with them. I think the steel is soft. I feel like it does not keep an edge well, and I suspect the multi-tools will be about the same. So take that. So toughness. Now, there's other things besides the blades we're talking about. Toughness as far as clamping power, cutting power. I think the 600 will be adequate in that, and on par with Charge. I have not tested the 600 in hard cutting task and hard use plier tasks. I have tested the Charge a lot, and it's never let me down. I have cut very thick bob wire type right here with a hard wire cutter, so I know what this will do. Now, looking at it and using common sense, I think the Gerber 600 would perform very well in that. It does not look to be a lightweight as far as the pliers go. I think it would do fine. So toughness in the plier category, probably about the same, maybe on par. I do not see a hard wire cutter here, which is the notch at the base of the cutter. However, the regular cutters here would probably serve adequately. So toughness, I'm still going to give the edge to the Charge because of the steels used, and also in the handle materials. By the way, I almost forgot to mention that. That's made of titanium in the Charge, at least the T and TI and TTI series, and then they're made of aluminum in the other series. But these are pretty darn tough, at least this particular model of Charges. And this would be a stainless steel handled version of Gerber. Now, do I think it's a huge deal with a handle? No, I think these would do fine. We can't get overly wrapped up about materials. We need to use some common sense, but I know this performs well. I've done it. So I'm going to give the edge to Charge in toughness. How about versatility? There's a lot to be said about versatility, because now we're talking about the configuration of the tool set and how versatile they are. Well, let's look at the Gerber and how they approach the different tasks we may be faced with in toolage, so to speak. Oh darn, once again I got to deploy that plier every time. And this is kind of like a folding knife issue that deploys differently. Notice that without thinking as I was talking, I just tried to open it, because guess what? Every other multi-tool I have opens that way. Not the Gerber. I got to retrain myself to say, hey, I got to deploy that plier. No, not a huge deal. Now let's look at the tools. Okay, we got a Phillips head there. We got a can opener. Not bad. And we got a really large lanyard ring. I'm not sure why that thing's so big. And we've got your normal blade. Got a file. That's good. I always love a file. Not too bad. Then we have a smaller blade with a cap lifter. No big deal there. Smaller. And what's this down here? Got to fish it out. And that's a smaller screwdriver. Okay, so those are good. Good selection of tools. Now, I have no issues with those. I think they're all useful. And here's your serrated sheep's foot blade, by the way. That's a great rescue blade. Not as good as the Charges. Look at my other video for that. But it's not bad. Now, this is the inelegant part, to use that word again, that I do not like about the Gerber 600. Here is the Phillips, so we extend that. And let's say we want to use other bits which are included. Well, we have to put an adapter on. So here comes a big metallic adapter to put on that Phillips. So bam, adapter's on. Now I can put multi-bits in there, whatever they may be. And by the way, these are hard to get out. These rubber holder. Okay, so that's the Gerber. Yeah, you have some bit capability there on the upside, and contrasting it against the Charge in the background is that they're full bits. These are fully shaped bits. They're not the flattened variety that Leatherman uses. So theoretically, they're going to be stronger, and you're going to have more torque capability on them. Now, how much torque can we take on this joint? Don't know. Haven't used it. Probably won't either. But anyways, that's the versatility of Gerber. And just by way of remembering, let's look at the Charge. So I open the Charges sheath, and by the way, they're stored in a nice little dedicated elastic pouch in the back. And here we go. And these are, yes, the flattened bits. Open the Charge up and go to the large bit holder. Right there currently has a Phillips bit, and there, let's say I'm going to use a hex. Bam, done. Now granted, it's not the full 3D profile bit, it's flattened, so maybe theoretically we don't have the same amount of torque capability with it, but I much prefer the Charge. It's just easier. It's easier to store, easier to carry, easier to put on, and by going the flattened route versus the full size three-dimensional route that Gerber did, I don't have to use an intermediary piece like this one. This is a big chunk of metal, and this is just our adapter that allows us to drive bits on the 600. So versatile, is it versatile? Yes, it's versatile. However, it's kind of a hassle to use compared to other offerings, i.e. the competition out there, and it's namely the Charge. It's just better. Let me put that Phillips bit back in. Now, there's other things that weigh in on versatility. How about our cutting tasks? Do we both have, and dude, I hate to do this for you, I'm going to have to do a part 3. There's just so much to talk about. But let's get going. Are there different types of blades for cutting tasks? Let's look at the Charge. Yep, nicely shaped blade. Man, I love that blade. It's perfectly shaped. Then we come over here, and they've got the notches out, so we know that that's our serrated rescue blade. Yep, we do that. Now we also have that in the Gerber. Again, let's be fair to the Gerber. Yep, there's a rescue blade there. By the way, let's compare the two sizes. If I'm cutting a seatbelt, which one do I want? Let me think. I'll take that one. Yeah, more reach, more cutting power because it's a longer blade. So, is it versatile? Yeah, you still have it, but this is almost a token blade, to be honest with you. It's just token. And again, two-handed retraction. Here we go. And then let's compare the main blades really quick before my 10 minutes is up. And the blade retraction and extraction on the Charge is just fast. There's your main blades. Which one would you want to use? More versatile, in my opinion. So that's part 3, versatility in a lot of different areas. the Charge blows away the Gerber 600. Part 3 coming up.